Hello viewers, subscribers and wonderful people. You're all one and the same. Welcome to KSP Contracting episode 19. I'm Lorenzo and we are continuing the last episode where we are trying to attach this asteroid to this one that's already in orbit. Well, we're continuing straight from where we left off last episode, so we're coming up on our big plane change maneuver. It's almost a full 90-degree change, and well, we shall see how that goes. I can probably get away with reducing this a little bit because the end resulting orbit is... oh, no, I shouldn't do that. The orbit is larger than this one, so there's energy going in there that doesn't have to go in it, but... well, I don't understand the markers anymore. If you're doing massive plane changes, they get strange, so I'm just going to do it. Anyway, there are far more important things I would want to talk to you about rather than a mundane plane change, so let me just accelerate time so that we may burn the rocket, not ourselves, and then I can go on. The monumental news I want to share with you is, of course, that now I have 300 subscribers, and I hope that you are all watching. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, leaving the comments and likes and thumbs ups, and even occasionally sharing the videos. That makes it very nice to, you know, talk to strange people that I've never seen before in my life, and talk to them about gaming, rocketry, and interesting news. I do enjoy doing this, and well, seeing your number grow is a nice part of that. So I hope you all will enjoy this video, and of course the next several hundred over the coming years, because that's where we're going. And where we're going with this rocket is, well, I said it already, we're going to try and rendezvous with this rock here, and the big question is, will we have enough fuel in the tanks to do it? We have about 750 meters per second more to go in this burn. I think we'll definitely make that, but we will need about, well, at least another kilometer per second, I think, to shrink the orbit far enough. And that should be it. So I'm cautiously optimistic here, because the fuel from this tank is really... it's draining very slowly, and this asteroid is very tiny. And those are things that help. Yeah. So, with that said, let me just continue this burn until it's finished, which should be any second. Just 70 more meters per second, and well, the maneuver node indicator is starting to drift, which is always a good indicator. Well, 20 meters per second, I'm gonna call it. We did it, and we still have lots of fuel remaining, so we should be in a nice coplanar orbit. 1.2 degrees separation only, which is, well, to be honest, not so much. So we can... I wonder what's more efficient, if I start burning now from here to reduce... I'm wondering, because we need to reduce the whole orbit, whether it's more efficient to do so from the apoapsis, then lower the periapsis to here and then burn, or do it from here and then finish it off. I think it doesn't matter, because we need to take away all the orbital energy anyway, so it might be more efficient to do it from here, actually, the lowest point, because we have a slightly larger Oberth effect that way. But doing it at apoapsis or periapsis doesn't matter in this case, because we need to do the two burns to reduce them both very small, to reduce them both a lot anyway. So I'm going to start with this one here, taking care not to accidentally crash into the planet. That would be embarrassing. This is another 400 meters per second, and we should be able to do that no problem. So let's just turn around the asteroid. I think we have plenty of monopropellant left still, so no need to worry about that. We can just squirt that away with abandon. And now I'm going to light the engines to remove... wait. Why did that... where did that maneuver marker just go? It went all the way over there? That doesn't make any sense. We just need to burn straight retrograde. Screw that maneuver, I'm going to burn retrograde. Am I not controlling from here? Control from here. We have the orbital thing targeted, where we burn, and then we actually... How is it that we are inverted somehow? If I burn here... This is really strange. I'm pointed retrograde. If I light my engine, the maneuver node delta V indicator is rising. That means we're going in the wrong direction. But the maneuver node does reduce the orbit. So screw that maneuver node. We'll just do it the old-fashioned way. Burn the engine and look at the map. So I have much more confidence in doing things this way. Right. Still at 1.2 degrees separation, and I'm now starting to ever so slowly getting worried about the fuel. How much of it is there left? There's about 2,000 units left. We should be fine. We should be fine. We should be able to get these rocks close together at any rate. Now, what I want to do is put the periapses here at the same altitude as the one of this asteroid, and then of course see if we can set up a rendezvous so we can break into orbit whilst rendezvousing with the asteroid. That would be the greatest. So we are almost there, and that should do it. We have... I don't know what we have. Let's see if I can make a maneuver node. Add a maneuver node. Ooh, look at that. Plenty of opportunities for rendezvous. Let's make it like that. And I'm not going to go for an actual 97 kilometer rendezvous, but I'm just going to look at the map view whilst burning, as I do always. This is only another 500 meters per second. That should easily be possible, and then maybe 100 or 200 more to actually rendezvous and match speeds, and then we have 2 asteroids orbiting together, and then we only have to launch the next spaceship to go and grab that. And I forgot, we have been going for 7 days on this one, so we do probably have a stretch of waiting to do until the 30-day launch window opens up for that. But first things first, let's rendezvous these asteroids. I shall time warp to that burn moment, which should be nice and close over Kerbin. So, oh, and then at that point we can also do science from this asteroid at near Kerbal space. Or was that? I think that was at in space near Kerbin. Didn't trigger until like, I don't know, 100 kilometers. Anyway, we shall research that again by popping Jeremy Kerman out of the hatch right now. Let it go. Oh, good lord. Be careful with that jetpack, Jeremy. No idea what he was doing, but let's just say he went for a stroll. Yeah. Right. Yeah, this is still in space high over Kerbin. Need to discard that. And I thought that that other asteroid did come within close distance. So if we rendezvous with that, we will find out if that is actually the case. And let's see, is it time for that burn yet? Yes, it is almost. So this burn will take a whole minute. A whole agonizing minute. And I shall not subject you to that. I will show you the rendezvous I managed to set up, so bear with me for 1 second, please. Yeah, oops, I botched that a bit. I was looking at the rendezvous indicator rotating around the planet, and then I thought I could make it smaller, but, well, I couldn't. Well, I could, and it is now smaller. It's going to 100 kilometers, but the rendezvous has been messed up. So we're going to take advantage of the low altitude, do some science, and then retry that rendezvous. So we at least know for sure that the fuel could have made it. Now we're still wondering if it actually will, because we need to spend more of it. Right, but first though, let's sample this asteroid again, because now we are absolutely close to Kerbin. There's no denying that. Boom, 60 science from the asteroid near Kerbin. I think that's 4 times 60, it's 240 science from this space rock, which is not too shabby at all. So, quite good. So, let's get back into the capsule, and now, well, to set up another rendezvous, I suppose. .5 kilometers, great. I'm pretty sure this is the most horribly ineffectual, well, not ineffectual, but inefficient rendezvous I've set up. But it works from here, which is a bonus, because then we can just start doing that. So let's light that engine up again and do these meters per second. One thing you want to always watch out for when planning rendezvous from a low Kerbin orbit is that you actually do them while enlarging your orbit and not while shortening it, because the system is perfectly happy to give you a rendezvous which then should happen right after you grind through the planetary crust, which of course is not something you actually want. Right. 1 kilometer, that's really close. Nice. So let's time warp until that monumental occasion actually happens, and then I think I'm going to put the 2 asteroids as close together as I can manage, and then we shall move on to the next launch, which will then knit them together. I have not taken a look at the connector ship yet, but we shall do that. Yes, we shall have a look at the connector ship. I'm probably going to launch the connector ship into space and then do the actual connectoring for the next episode. But let's see how we get on with this asteroid rendezvous first. Ooh, there it is already, 8 kilometers distant. And we can ditch all maneuver nodes and rely on our target indicators. We have 400 meters per second of relative speed, which is a respectable amount that we should start getting rid of soon, but I'm not in the proper attitude. Well, there it is, zipping by at 1 kilometer distance, 900 meters even, but we're still at a 300 meter per second relative speed. So I should have started that deceleration a little bit earlier, but well, I didn't. So now we are going to play catch up with this asteroid. The fuel is definitely running low, but I'm still confident that we can make it. 150 meters per second of relative speed now, and I'm going to make the approach a little bit gentle because, well, as I said, the fuel is running out a little bit. Let's go for 50 meters per second of approaching speed. Yes. That seems like a reasonable balance. Ah, screw it, 75. There we go. That should give us ample time to turn around, but also won't be too long as to be boring. So there we go. And while we do this asteroid approach, let me share with you the interesting news for today. The interesting news today is about Copenhagen suborbitals. You might have heard about them if you've been watching my videos for a while. You'll have heard about them from me even. I did a little tribute video a couple of months back. Anyway, they are this group of Danes that are making a rocket. Well, more people in the planet are making a rocket, but they are doing so completely privately funded. They do accept donations though, and their motto is basically, we don't want to buy shit, we want to make it ourselves. So there are less rocket scientists and more welders that are making a rocket. Now, there's more amateur rocketry groups, but these guys are aiming high. They want a liquid bipropellant rocket with a turbo pump that will send a guy, so it's going to be manned, that will send a guy to space. Now, it's not going to take it into orbit. That is quite a little bit too ambitious even for them. But they want to make it a suborbital, hence the name Copenhagen Suborbitals. They want to give a guy, their founder, their leader, a suborbital hop in their homemade rocket. Now, if they do this, that will obviously be a huge accomplishment, and they will be only the fourth nation in the world to launch a man into space, which is still hugely impressive, especially considering that the government doesn't sponsor them at all. Even they even go to sea. They do ocean launches, so as to not be bothered by regulations and the problems in launching rockets on the ground. Perhaps unsurprisingly, aviation officials, governments and such don't take very kindly to you just shooting off rockets in like populated areas. Fun stuff, there's just no rules regarding rocketry. For instance, they cannot make their own gunpowder. That is illegal for them, and you use the gunpowder to ignite a liquid fueled engine, for instance. They cannot make their own gunpowder. That is illegal. There's laws against that. I don't know, probably to make it hard to manufacture your own gunpowder weapons, I suppose, but they have to buy their gunpowder. Them welding and building massive tanks of ethanol and liquid oxygen fueled rockets, there's no rules about that. So that's funny, but that's not the interesting news I wanted to share. They have set a date for their rocket test, the actual full-sized rocket that will take a man to space, hopefully. And it's not an actual test of the rocket, but it's a test of the rocket engine. And this is for them quite a bit more nail-biting than it is for, say, Lockheed Martin or Boeing, because whereas they design an engine, then build 20 or 30 of these engines just for testing, they have basically built one engine and they're going to test it. And if it blows up, that will be horrible. If it works though, it will be amazing, and that is basically what they and all their supporters have been waiting for. So they set the test date for the 17th of May, so it's about 10 days in the future. And well, that's going to be exciting. So check out their website. It's in the description under the interesting news. It's copsub.com, so it's easy to remember. And well, keep your fingers crossed for them the 17th, because they will be igniting their homemade rocket, which I can only imagine is a very, very stressful procedure. I would not want, well, I would want to have a homemade rocket for sure, but I do not envy them the stress that they have been working on this for years and years, and if something goes wrong, it all explodes in their face. Because it's not just the rocket they're testing, it's also the fuel tanks and the fuselages and stuff. They've all made this themselves, and if the rocket engine explodes, obviously that stuff is going to become pretty much damaged as well. Anyway, while I'm talking about that, I am wasting all my RCS fuel turning this asteroid around because I want to get it even closer. I wonder if you could break up an asteroid with another asteroid. I'm not going to try that. We are constructing stuff here. We are not actually in the business of playing orbital billiards, but hey, I am curious. So, can I use RCS to slow down? Does that work? That works. So, we are now at 7 meters per second, sort of approaching this asteroid. So, let's see if I can just slow down using RCS and get these asteroids to orbit in the same orbit, in the same direction as precisely as possible. I mean, if they're 100 meters apart, by the time the next spaceship gets here, that will be kilometers. And while that is not necessarily a big problem, it will be a little bit annoying. Oh! I was planning to detach the asteroid here and then send the connector, but I can leave it attached just as easily. And that means that we can connect the connector here and then use this rocket still to maneuver that asteroid. So yeah, that was just a construction epiphany. That means we're not quite ready to claim the science from this rock yet, but that does mean that we can launch the other ship now. So 146 meters of separation. Let's have a look at the orbital lines. They are, well, they're fairly well matched, and in 35 minutes that will be 1.5 kilometers. So we'll have to do another rendezvous, but that's manageable. We can deal with that. RCS fuel is running out, as is the regular fuel, but the mission has been accomplished. The asteroids are very close to each other, so now we have to launch the connector. onto the space center we go. Let's have a look at that in the vehicle assembly building. And I'm fairly sure, yes, I'm going to leave that for the next episode, then we have something to look forward to. Oh, the peregrine, I should remove that from the garage because I've launched that already. Anyway, the KPRR combinator. And I wonder if we have this manned or not. Is this a manned rocket? It is not a manned rocket. That's good, that's easy. It looks simple. There's one booster stage. And holy moly, what is this? Oh, these are separate. Oh no, this is awesome. These are separate stalks that can undock and maneuver, and so I can attach one of these to an asteroid, attach another one to another asteroid, and then maneuver that asteroid to dock with the claw. That is a hugely ambitious goal. Yes, and we're going to devote an entire episode to that next episode. So stay tuned for that. Let's see if we can attach multiple asteroids together for a awesome and awe-inspiring orbital structure. For now, thanks for watching. I'm Lorenzo. See you next time.